Hey guys, welcome back to Hype RC. Today on the channel, we finally got in all of the upgrades for our ARRMA Mojave Grom, including the new Furitek Scorpion Brushless motor and ESC combo. This is censored. It's the only one of its kind that is specifically made for the Groms. Now, we also have a bunch of upgrades to beef up the driveline on this as well, and a new receiver and transmitter combo we're going to put in this rig. So let's go ahead and head over to the bench and check out those upgrades. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and take an up-close look at all the upgrades for our new Mojave Grom. We're going to start off the FlySky FS-BS6 6-channel receiver with built-in gyro. We're going to bind that up directly to the FS-GT5 FlySky remote. This will be a huge upgrade over the factory unit. Next is the Furitek Scorpion kit. So these are both censored. This is a 70-amp ESC and a 5,600 kV brushless motor. This ought to bump the power up on this rig substantially. Because we're going to bump the power up, we're going to go ahead and drop in the all-metal front and rear diffs. We're also going to upgrade the axles and the wheel hexes while we're at it. And then we have these. These are brand new from Nexx Racing. They make some of the best micro-crawler shocks. These are specifically made for the Grom. These are a true big bore oil-filled shock with a piston reservoir. These are going to be absolutely fantastic for this rig. And then we have the new TORQ-1022 high-speed, high-torque servo to get rid of that box stock unit. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of these upgrades installed on the rig, and then we'll take an up-close look at it on the bench. So let's go ahead and take an up-close look at what comes in the Scorpion kit. So this is an ESC and motor combo. So I said 70 amps earlier. It's actually a 40 amp, 70 amp max burst ESC in this, but that's still 70 amps if you're full throttle. So very nice size. This is much smaller than what I anticipated. Looks like we have a nice capacitor to go with it as well. So that is very well done. Nice aluminum case. Let's check out the motor. So packaged up very well. Looks like we got a nice set of instructions to go ahead and install this. Looks like it comes with a motor heatsink. That is nice. Maybe that's actually a spacer to space it up off the bottom. But that's a nice addition. And then a very nice carbon fiber mount. So this is going to mount up the servo, and then you will mount your ESC right here and receiver on top of this. So that is a nice addition in this kit. Generally, that's something you have to pay for extra. And then this is a very nice motor. They have done a great job. So this is a 5,600 kV, 2.3 millimeter shaft. So this will fit the pinion from the stock unit. Looks like we have a EC2 connector on this as well. Actually, yeah, that is an IC2 connector, and then a 3-pin connector for the motor itself. So they have done a great job. It's dummy proof, so it does have a slot there. It will only allow you to plug this in one way. So great job right here by Furitek. Can't wait to get this installed. Let's go ahead and get all these parts put in. All right, guys, so what this is actually a spacer that allows you to use the factory heatsink on the Scorpion motor. So great engineering by Furitek. We're definitely going to use that, and that'll allow the fan to blow through these fins and keep this motor running nice and cool. All right, guys, all the upgrades dropped right in, no issues. So, of course, the front and rear diff are specifically made for ARRMA and the axle kit, so all these dropped right in. These shocks look amazing. They fit right up as well. I love the fact that we can use the factory heat sink as well, and then minimal wire management to get all this in. I did put a small spacer here underneath the ESC to allow the battery wires to come over the top of this center channel. Bonus tip right here, run your motor sensor wire into this channel. These were originally made for the battery. These are very small wires and very small joints, and being able to have that secure and run along that channel is an extra good way to keep that thing protected. We have the 2S battery in here. We're also going to run 3S. We're going to get the tires on here and check these shocks out as well, but I'm very pleased with the way this build has come out so far. I did turn this up to 7.5 on the BEC, which is making the fan run faster, which I like to keep the motor cool. I don't know if it's rated for that or not, and if it's going to withstand that power, but I guess we'll find out after we take this thing out for a bash and a speed run. So let's check out these Nexx Racing shocks. These things seem extremely plush. They seem to soak up that drop right there, so I'm really happy with that. Let's go ahead and check out how the speed on this servo looks. Oh yeah, way faster. We've got a lot more speed and torque with that servo in there now too. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing out for a speed run and a bash. upgraded Mojave Gromm 2S speed run. .36 miles an hour on 2S. Modified Mojave Gromm 3S speed run. .51 miles an hour. All right, guys, that was an absolute blast. I'm going to check the temperature. So the motor is not hot, ESC's not hot, battery's not hot, so we have no heat. This thing ran absolutely perfect on 2 and 3S. Let's go ahead and get it back to the shop and get it cleaned up. All right, guys, so are these the ultimate upgrades for your ARRMA GROM? I'm going to have to say yes, and let's talk about why. We're going to start off with the Furitek Scorpion system. This is the only manufactured drop-in kit specifically made for the GROM with a brushless motor in ESC right now, and it did not disappoint. We hit 51 miles an hour on 3S, which I think we could have actually gone faster than that, but this thing was actually catching air when it got over 50 miles an hour, and we cartwheeled this thing multiple times. This thing is definitely ARRMA tough. Now, I also love the fact that you can tune the ESC in with the Fury app, so you can set your throttle curves, punch levels, all that, tune the remote in, and it is absolutely fantastic for $100. Next, I definitely believe that if you want to upgrade to a brushless system like the Scorpion, you have to upgrade those diffs to the all-metal ones from ARRMA. Those things are bulletproof. Again, you could see how hard I abused and bashed this rig, and it put up with that with absolutely no problems. And I also think that the axle kit is a good idea as well. You know, having anything that you can upgrade in the driveline when you put that much power to a rig this small, I think is a great idea. Next, the TORQ-1022 Servo is an absolute beast. Lots of speed, lots of torque, one of the best micro servos on the market right now. You can see again how hard I abuse this thing, jumping it, bashing it, flipping it at over 40 miles an hour, cartwheeling, and that servo took all that abuse and kept on ticking. Next, I like the Nexx racing shocks. They're some of the best shocks for the micro crawlers, and the ones that they came out for this are the only true reservoir piston shocks on the market, and they really dampened this rig up. I mean, this thing did absolutely fantastic. It's got some abuse, some scars on it now from all the running we did, but this thing just kept running with all of that abuse. So I'm extremely happy with the way that this rig turned out. And again, on 2S, we had 38 miles an hour, 39 miles an hour. That seems to be the sweet spot for this, unless you're doing speed runs, because if you try to take this out on a dirt track and run it at 51 miles an hour, it's almost out of control at those speeds. Now, I also like the GT5 remote with, if you're going to do speed runs, I highly suggest putting the gyro in here, because before I turned the gyro on, when this got 43, 44, 45 miles an hour, it started getting very loose out there on that blacktop. But as soon as I turned the gyro on, turned it down to like 10, 12%, it was just enough to keep this thing running in a nice straight line. So all in all, I highly recommend all these upgrades. I really don't have any cons about any of them. They all perform great, and this thing is ARRMA tough, and it is bad to the bone now. It is a beast with these upgrades, and it did not disappoint. So don't forget to support your local hobby shops. Bash, Carl, Drift, Repeat. Hit that subscribe and like button for me and ring the bell so you can catch my next video. We'll see you next time.